suffering is around and it's there and it exists, and no matter what we are doing, it's just lurking around. Yeah. And yeah, to come out of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Anyway, you have started recording. Okay. Okay. So now today I want to keep it light, and tomorrow we can take a heavy subject. So yesterday we had a meditation session, and today we are meeting to understand what is your opinion on Buddha. Why do you want to follow the Buddha? Or someone asks you that why you are following Buddha, or what answer do you recommend to be given to anyone, including a Buddhist or non-Buddhist, it doesn't really matter, to any fellow human. And if we're to be asked, why are you following Buddha? If you say to come out of suffering, they won't understand. Okay, and then what would you say? Ethics, okay, then maybe samadhi and wisdom and all of that, right? So we have to literally say all of it. But is that the real reason why should you be following Buddha is the question. Have you ever thought, why are you following someone? Yes, are you?
Yeah, I guess for me, I'll say maybe he gave very practical methods toward finding happiness.
Okay, so then the question comes, isn't there any happiness in the world that somebody has to give it to you in a practical way? See, there is happiness, right? There is tons of happiness. Otherwise, New Zealand and Australia and US and all these countries would be a barren land, and nobody would have thought about migrating if there were no happiness. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess a more lasting one, and which requires.
It is lasting, right? I go to job and every day I come back home and then I see my wife and then every day is lasting, right? So I think I've never felt even a single day that I don't belong here, or the place where I stay has moved away to get scared. Yes.
Yeah, I guess more lasting in some sense, but also with less effort and straining oneself.
No, there's no effort. Like, if you see now, you did your schooling and other things in China. Now you're back in China. Some difference, but you're meeting your friends, you're meeting your relatives, you're meeting everything. Aren't you happy? Are you feeling unhappy of meeting them? And then do you see that it's not long lasting? You are meeting, you're happy, and you are enjoying. You went on a train ride, you took him to a zoo, and so many things you did. So if there were nothing like that, and then, see, I am a skeptic. I don't believe in Buddha. So how do you convince me to follow Buddha? Let's say, what would you make me to join your bandwagon? Go ahead, Asa.
Well, I mean, my experience. So I've got, everything that I need, relatively, not very high, not very low. Everything is in order. But then at the end of the night, you see, oh, something is missing. You're not quite happy. In a nice place, good people around you, people are smiling at you. You're doing your own job. You're getting you're getting paid, and just you're affording to do whatever you want. But then at the end of the day, you feel, and I talk to all people, and you're suggesting, I think this happiness that you're suggesting is more like a more superficial. Here I ask my colleague, do you like the job? And like, I don't know, 70%, they said, if you get a chance, we're going to just leave right now. You just quit. We don't like the job. It's just giving us a headache. It's giving us a stress. And I'm getting stressed out because of the job, even though they've got relatively nice place. Everything is in order. Um, well, I think that happiness is more like in a superficial, on a outer layer. But when you just literally you go home, just sit for 10 minutes and by yourself, and you find that, oh well, all it was a hype, and now you are by yourself, and just like, I mean, that's what I'm usually when I refer to people, and I tell them like similar story. They are happy in the superficial. They've got a job, bank account, and everything. But then just sit 5 minutes at home and think about what you're doing, about your thought and everything. And I mean, I told one of my friends I do meditation perhaps for 1 hour, and they said, how can you bear your mind with all these crazy thought in your mind? And he was telling me he can't sit for 10 minutes. He's a very nice guy, very nice guy. He said, I can't sit one place and for 10 minutes do nothing. I go crazy with all these crazy thought that I have. So that's me.
Agreed. But then for getting peaceful, there are a lot of things that can be done. Like there are health clubs, there is meditation, and there is therapy sessions, and there's so many things are there. So then, yeah, I can just sit down and say watch breath for 10 minutes, or in on Apple Watch you have 5 minutes, something called mindfulness, and just do that. And then you have some motivation coming up there, or you ask Ariu, he has a band, and then it will give you 1 hour sitting if you want, and half an hour sitting if you want, and it's so nice. So that's got nothing to do with Buddha, right? So now I'm saying, or rather, you guys are Buddhist, and when you're following Buddha, and I have no idea who this Buddha is. So how would you actually convince me that what makes me to be in line with Buddha's teaching, or whatever that is? I don't even know. I'm like I said, I'm a terrible skeptic. I don't agree. I don't have any. I feel it's a waste of time. Basically, instead of being productive in your job or anything, you're trying to run away or do some crazy stuff, and then I'm an atheist, so to say, and then I feel that people are wasting their energies. And when you're young, you need to work and do all that. Yeah, old age is going to be there. That's known. Even my cat I have is aging, and the dogs I'm having aging, the squirrel is aging. And don't tell me that aging is one thing you can stop by following Buddha Dhamma. I don't know. I seriously don't know. I actually gave a thought over it, and I felt that it makes no sense. It's just depressive. He starts with some stupid argument like, life is a suffering and birth is a suffering, and we all know it's a suffering. Then how does it matter? I mean, you see this. I'm married, and then I have a child, and then I'm enjoying with my child, and then I'm getting a job, and I'm working. And you tell me one thing. There's something called as impermanent. If that is true, then my house should have gone somewhere now. That means the road which I went no longer exists. So then I can understand it is impermanent, because wherever you leave and you go back, you can't go back. That means the planes cannot fly. They can't have an airport, and then nothing. I mean, the places are same wherever they were. And then, yeah, Earth is turning around its own axis, but that doesn't shift all the items going around. So how do you convince such a scientific tempered person? Yes, sir.
But I can convince myself as well. I mean, if you would have at the beginning, if you would have tell me Buddha is super amazing guy and he does this, that, and this would happen, I would have said, well, I mean, no. I mean, my journey was a bit different. I started with Vipassana. I'm in the 10 days course. Just they sold me the idea that if you come somewhere, you could become your master of your own mind, and then plus the wisdom and everything, and you could sort out your life and say, oh, okay. Well, I didn't know anything much about the Buddha, except I read a story of the Buddha. He was a prince, like back in the days when I was 18 years old. And I was looking for a path. Like when I was 18, I was reading Bible. I was reading like And I didn't know what is Tipitaka, but then I read the history. I mean, the story of the Buddha. But I wasn't interested at all. But then with that meditation, then it made me interested. Ah, well, hey, someone has brought a path that's literally resonating with my heart. But yeah, that's a very good question. $1 million question. Back to you, Bulas.
Okay, so then I don't feel really convinced. Is there anything in this world of the Buddha talk that, irrespective of aging, meaning whenever it was said, even if I read today, it should work? And there is, so if you all have given up, then I'll start. Otherwise, we'll have some fun. How about you, Anusha, or anyone sitting here? I don't want you today to be a sitting duck and just sit there and then, okay, let us listen to what he says. I'll keep on saying that. But today I am literally a skeptic. I have no faith, literally, on Buddha.
Can I speak?
Yes, you have to speak. Yes, Archana, go ahead.
Yes.
Very nice.
So, how I have come to Buddha's teaching is, since I got the understanding, though I was so blessed to have a very good life since my childhood, after my marriage too, but there is this continuous understanding of suffering, that it is not going to remain the same. What I'm experiencing today, that happiness, is not going to be there. So what I'm experiencing, like what even Asad said, that it is, there is an emptiness, there is, it is not going to last long. So when I enjoy being happy with my parents or with my husband, my kids, I know that this is only for small time, that happiness is for very small time, and I am looking for the longer satisfaction, longer time happiness. And I know what is not there in my hand, I cannot hold on to anything, and I have to let it go. It is going to go. So then I know that only Buddha's teaching can take me to the ultimate happiness, where that suffering part won't be there in my life. So I want to come out of it, because wherever, whatever I enjoy, ultimately then it is turning into dissatisfaction, or some suffering is there. So that is what understanding, and it is at each and every time I experience it. So today I'm safely sitting here and enjoying everything. But at the same time, when I see the suffering outside, the wars I see, the airplane crash I see, so that is also there. I mean, we never know ki when can we face, did not face the same thing, but end is there. So want to come out of it. And when I heard about this all samsara, it was so scary. When I think about it, I feel, oh, should really get out of it as soon as possible. So this is my take on Buddha's teaching, and I have that faith that definitely I'm going to get it. Thank you.
Okay, Archana, hopefully I should also get some faith. So you can transfer to my bank account some faith. Anyway, so that is good, but that's not the reason why you should follow Buddha. Yes, Bobby. My friend. Let's see what he has.
Vilaji, what I understand from the teaching of Buddha is that somebody who have that basic understanding that being moral is, they approve that being moral, and that gives happiness, and also some supernatural power is not doing this. As you said, a scientific type of person. It is normally they don't think that the supernatural power is doing this, but at least they should accept that being moral brings happiness. So that is a starting point, I believe. If somebody doesn't convince on that, then I don't think we can convince them.
Right. Okay, so let's take any other answers. I know you are convinced on Buddha, but I'm not. So let's see what happens to me. I'm somehow today not convinced at all. From the morning.
Are you convinced that being moral doesn't make any sense?
Yeah, moral, it makes sense, but then I don't see the result happening right now.
How you judge that the result is happening or not?
Yeah, so now you see this fun that I don't kill any living beings.
What's that?
But by not killing, I didn't get anything. Even if I went to meet in the office, let's say they have a chicken, and I eat it. So what happens? Will I die?
Yeah, but do you have that sensitivity to know that this is, that's what they have to at least basically agree that when you tell lies, or when you get angry with someone, what is the feeling you're getting. So that sensitivity is not there, then I don't think I can convince you.
Right. Even Buddha cannot convince me.
No, Buddha's teaching is not for everyone anyway. So that is so clear from anybody who are practicing for some time. It is so clear that it is not for everyone. So only that basic level of, if somebody accepts that being moral is good, or the supernatural power is not doing all this creation and everything, I think these are the two requirements. If somebody doesn't have that, then it is a waste of time talking to them.
Oh, good. so you have made, what we can say, you have made up your mind. Good, Bobby. Thanks. Yeah, Mangala.
Sir, I was drawn to Buddhism, or not drawn to Buddhism, but being in India, we are exposed to his teachings, but not completely. And being studied in a convent school, I read the Bible totally. And I did not find the answers to my, searchings. In fact, at the age of 18, I also attended Osho's course, Osho's discourse, he was alive and in Pune. And the answers were not there, and suddenly, after joining you, I realized that I have found the right way. My question was, is how to go about in this life, and then all of a sudden you said a lot of things, which made a lot of sense. For example, um, Buddha in his end, his last sermon, he says, look at the light within you, and then you can you can do something for the world. Like Archana said, we've been born in very happy families, we've had the best of everything, but that suffering that we feel is out of empathy, like Buddha, is that you have not come into the world just to be born and eat and drink and just wither away. There is something more to life, and the answers I'm finding are now, the struggle is now taking shape, and a lot of teachings that maybe because I have time now after retirement and I've matured, but they are really very scientific, very genuine, very authentic, and his teachings, I feel, if I keep continuing to walk on this path, I will ultimately reach some level. Even though my understanding of Pali and my grasping power of Pali is just next to nil, I have found that I have found peace in this path. That is what I feel.
Good.
I thought I must I felt I must know. And I'm lucky that I found a very authentic, very truthful person who is, who explains things, who really, I mean, I appreciate your hard work. We are lucky that you are, you come down to our level of breaking things or explaining things. So that is my reason. The suffering is out of empathy, like Buddha. I mean, like we are lucky to be born where we get everything in life. So, but the empathy is there, and there is suffering in the world, which touches us. So I just wanted to communicate since I felt this was the opportune moment.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, if somebody asks you, you should split up into two parts. First part is who else? Yes, Nitin, go ahead.
Yeah, sir, for like some period of time, I was not feeling content with whatever I used to do. And after I started studying Buddha, and I've done few practices, and then I've realized that the mind which is going outside for satisfaction is cutting all the threads and bringing back to within. All the objects of meditation understanding are very natural, not taking any external help or any artificial layering. So that is what the beautiful thing which I've realized as I'm understanding and practicing the Buddha's teaching. So it's more about the deconditioning, I would say, and that is majority people they don't understand. And even I was on the same path of conditioning. To remove this conditioning, I was conditioning with something else. So that was a trap, kind of, and giving some false understanding or delusion that I'm progressing, I'm feeling happy and contented. But this is very raw teaching, very simple. Yet I'm finding it little difficult, but it is simple. Intellectually, I can understand it's very simple, but the mind is conditioned to do complex things. So this simple thing is feeling little bit complex. So this is what my understanding until today.
Good to hear, Nitin. Okay, so what I was saying is, if somebody asks you, you have to put it in two parts. Part one is act of God. Part two, the other side, is no God. It just happens. So, in general, human being puts it in two parts: the act of God or no God. And people who believe in karma, deeds, they put the third part, saying that everything that is happening around is due to karma or due to deeds. So all good things which are happening, all bad things which are happening, all nasty things that are happening is due to karma or God or just happening. We have no idea why it happens, but we know it is happening. That means it's going to be there, and after this body ends and there ends the matter, just enjoy your life and forget all about it. And the other side of it is that God is doing it. God has his own plan. We are the children of God. you can't question God. And God knows why things are happening or not happening. That's his domain. So we have to agree with what God says. So then everyone creates their own God and they pray to the God of whatever they want. And some people believe in karma, so they say that everything that is happening is due to karma. And this is exactly against which Buddha stood. Because if you believe in God, then all the bad deeds are also God driven. That means you can kill, you can steal, you can have sexual misconduct, then you can tell lies, you can slander, you can have harsh speech, you can have empty chatter, you can be asking for more, and then you can be angry, upset, or whatever, and you can have all kind of views. Yes, Mangala.
Oh, by mistake, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Just
Yes, fine.
walking. I'm sorry.
That's okay, it's fine. So basically, that's all what it is. That we believe in God because God knows it. And another set of people will say that there's no God, so we'll do whatever we want and nothing happens. I steal something, I might get caught, might not get caught. In India, especially, helmets are compulsory for a two-wheeler. If police sees only, then it's fine, right? Then otherwise it's not an issue. And we don't wear helmets. In the car, we don't wear seatbelts. And the road where I come after getting down from the metro station to the office, it's a big road. So it's on the other side of the road, the traffic comes, which is not allowed. But it's morning, nobody cares, right? So you can come whichever side you want. God will take care. And we are God-fearing people, especially in India. So God will take care. And eventually God is taking care because we have 140 crores of people, or even more, I don't know how much. But how many people are dying? Very few. So God is taking care of them. So don't mind doing anything. And to top it all, things are working. So if Bobby says, if morality is what is required, but I can see it's working. I have seen myself, so many people not wearing helmets. They didn't die and they're never caught either by police or whatever, and they're not having any fine. In fact, I've seen people who wear and do everything has got into trouble. They got into accidents, they've got into all kind of issues. So, yes, Bobby.
So Vilashi, in that same logic, people who believe in God also have some good life, right? Many people who live in God and they have a good, life and they don't have any problems.
Yes. So that's what. So either I believe in God or I believe in nothing. So then both people are very happy.
Yeah, yes.
Because those who believe in God, God will take care. Those who don't believe in anything, they will take care of themselves. So they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, I think the main thing what you're trying to say is there is minimum amount of that right view should be there.
Yeah, so that will take care, right? So it's fine. So basically, these 2 plus 1, so 2 ends and the middle one is all due to karma. So This is the view, what we are going to have forever. Yeah. So, even when we started, we would be having such a view. So, if you come to Buddha, he'll break all the three views. And the question comes, do I require these views to be gone? So, let's understand one by one. If I believe in God, the question comes, why are those sinners whom I see are sinning are enjoying good life? And why are those people who are supposed to be very good are suffering? And why does God do like that? And the theist, that means who believe in God, say that it's a test by God to see his children, how committed are they. So he gives some exams which are very tough. So the situations become very tough, so that the gold is just like you burn the gold to get the purity of the gold. In the same way, God gives a lot of challenges for those people who believe him. And for those people who don't believe in God, they can enjoy. So they don't feel anything. They don't face any problem. Majorly, if you see people who do 10 immoral deeds are very happy than the people who do moral deeds or live by ethics and believe in God. So then you have two choices, either to believe in God or not to believe in God. So when you see things are happening against my belief in God, then I become an atheist, because I see that things are not working. So now I am a rationalist. So I come and ask this question to the Buddha or to the Buddhist. What is that you want to give me? Which we have covered in many places, but this is a very nice sutta to understand the essence of Buddha. The first one is akiriya. One second. Lata. This is Virgo. I was wondering where is she walking out? Okay, so you are come at the right time.
Okay.
Of why we are talking of why you should follow Buddha. So I am a skeptic. I've stopped following Buddha.
Okay.
So I'm asking them, how do you convince me to follow Buddha? And unfortunately, they are not able to give me a answer why I should follow. They're giving some answers saying that suffering is there and we don't get happiness, etc. So then we concluded on that, and now you're here. So that's here. If why should I follow the Buddha? So the 8 reasons, not one, there are 8 of them. So first of the thing is, there is, talking about Lata, is that there is theist and atheist. Anything that is happening in our life is due to act of God or will of God. So we say that we are children of God. And normally when God wants to test his faith mongers, then he gives a lot of troubles. So just like the gold have to be burnt to get that purity. So to get the purity, you need to have God testing us. So now I become an atheist because I see people who are having good life are those who don't believe in God. And people who really believe in God are the ones who really suffer, both from not getting what they want, and also if they get it, they are not able to enjoy it because they always keep on thinking about God. So either way, they suffer their whole life. And those people who don't believe in God, they can beg, borrow, steal, do whatever they want, and they can enjoy their life. So why don't I be an atheist? Is the question, or why should I be a theist? So then the third kind is the karma, which is deeds. So then the question comes: are all deeds driven by? Are all events in our life driven by deeds? And the answer is yes. So that means if I'm telling lies, if I'm killing, if I'm stealing, if I'm doing whatever, it's because of karma. I don't have a choice. I just have to go through the flow and get out of it. So I'll be given such opportunities which look negative, but I don't have anything to say yes or no to it because it's karmic. So these are three things. Is there any other thing which I can support? No. So thesis, atheist, and karmic. And Buddha destroys all the three of them. He doesn't agree with atheist. He doesn't agree with theist. He doesn't agree with karmic also. All the three are. So if I were to go to a Buddhist and really ask, why are you Buddhist? First, you should know that all these three are not permissible. There's nothing called as exclusive or absolute theist and absolute atheist and absolute karmic. They're not there. Then there are 8 reasons why somebody should approach the Buddha if he wants to understand. So the first one is Akiriyavada. It is non-doing, which is what the view was earlier when ascetics start to get formed, that they wanted to search for reality. Then they saw that Akiriyavada, when you're non-doing. So what is non-doing is that you don't have a choice. You're here, you're born, supposed to do whatever comes, just do it. Go. No need for evaluation. So there's nothing called morality or immorality, nothing this, nothing that. It's all fabrication of the mind. Because if you want to survive, you have to do something. So you create a tribe and have some norms. Just like in a company, we'll have norms. So you just follow the norms. Then that's it. So then you do whatever you want to do. It has got nothing to do with what should be done and what should not be done. So no karma means no result of actions. So 2 people proposed that, and one is, which is even today called as an atheist. In fact, if you follow Ajita Kesa Kambali, that person's logic is extraordinary. He's a logician. And till today, he started by Bharadwaja. Then Ajita Kesa Kambali took it from there. And it became Charvaka tradition. And Charvaka is nothing but who speaks very well. So they're very, not only, it's not a skepticism, they talk logic. And you can't beat them in logic. So, Akiriyavada means no doing of anything. It's there, enjoy, do whatever you want, go. Don't give it too much of a thought by saying that I will do this, I will not do this, and this is moral, this is immoral, this is how it should be, this karma will take me. If that were to be true, then you should see it right now. But you will say that, no, that is past karma has come here. How do you know that past karma has attached here? What's the link? It's heights of imagination. So just an imagined one. So this is what is the view of Ajita Kesa Kambali and also Purana Kassapa. His ideology is also very good, but not as good as Ajita Kesa Kambali's. So it's very nice. If you read his books, I mean, they have burnt many of his books during the Nalanda burning. So we don't have much of it. We have only little bit coming from Jain philosophy and Buddhist philosophy, where they mention them in a very wrong way. So you can take from there and know why they are correct in their argument. And nowhere they could be beaten up, meaning in their structure. So Akiriyavada. So what Buddha says, he takes that Akiriyavada and then he makes it shouldn't do evil things. The same concept, he says that don't do evil things. And then the question can be asked, what happens if I do evil things? What would be your answer? Let's say I do some wrong thing. Let's say I steal this cable, let's say. What would happen? Then you would say you should have guilty conscience or conscience and all that. I don't have anything like that. So then I just take it and go. What's the problem with that? I might get caught in the security, maybe. Okay. Otherwise, what would happen if I were to take this cable and go away? Yeah, I shouldn't take it. That's correct. Ethically, but I don't believe in ethics. So then what would happen? What would happen real time now when I take this? Irrespective if somebody is watching, not watching, camera there, not there. What is one thing which happens if I were to take this and go? I'm not only asking you, Lata, I'm asking.
No, yeah, that I understand.
But it's a nice, intriguing thing.
Nice intriguing thing. So your first thing which came to my mind was when you take something, you will feel that something in your heart. Okay.
That's correct. So that's the only thing
That's
which
the only
happens.
thing you feel.
Yes.
If that is not feeling, then nothing happens.
In fact, even the worst of the stealing person will face
Feel.
uneasiness.
So that something will catch.
Yes,
And that catch is the problem.
that catches the problem. So you can overrule that. That is, the mind can overrule, kill it or snub it or whatever it is, and then carry on. But if you observe that feeling, that's a dukkha vedana, which is suffering. So you have registered suffering.
It will come up.
It pricked it. At present it's pricked, but then I have craving for this cable, so I push this aside and then take it. So if I want happiness, I should not have suffering.
Yes, so that is the reason he says don't take it.
That's the only reason. It's not God is watching.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
This is the conclusion I come to.
Okay, good. What about then killing? Let's say I'm bringing chicken. I didn't kill. I bought it from the shop. Now, what's up with that?
The same thing.
But then I shouldn't be touching meat. But I'm touching meat. Maybe I'm not eating, but I'm giving it to my family, or like in your case, you're giving it to
I'm doing
dog.
it.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
So then, does it prick you? And if it pricks you, that means you have taken dukkha, irrespective of whether it is agreeable, disagreeable, or whatever it is.
Yeah. This doesn't, initially it used to, when I started the spiritual journey, it used to prick me. And I used to tell, okay, thank you for giving all that and then do it. And now it doesn't actually prick me. I don't know why, but, and sometimes I also keep in my mind, at some point in time, I should not, what do you say, cook any of those. So when is that time is, I'm still thinking in my
Okay.
mind. And I have a dog, so he has to be given.
Yeah, exactly.
that. I have no other choice.
I understand.
Yeah.
So this we'll keep it separate, and then we'll come back to that later. So like that, then there is lying. Also, you'll feel the prick. Then harsh speech, you'll feel the prick. Slander, you'll feel the prick. And you're talking nonsense. Also, you'll feel the prick. You'll feel, why am I wasting my time? But then we can overrule it. Then we get into this. We aspire for more. There's a prick. You feel unhappy because you don't have it.
Yeah. You know, when it struck me, you remember one time we were having a lot of debate on when you mentioned even the terrorists and they're killing somebody and they're dying, they will go to heaven. You remember that? You
Yeah.
know that?
Yeah.
So for them, they believe what they are doing is really correct, and for God, they are doing.
Correct.
So they have no pricking feeling in their mind. So their mind is
Stoned.
so that's why since they don't have the pricky feeling, they will go wherever they have to go. That's the conclusion I made of that.
Yeah, that's correct, because now you can push it. See, the thing is like this. That's the reason we either take one of the three. We take God and push everything on God, because I'm doing for God's sake. I'm not really killing
Taking it
anyone.
for myself.
It's not for me, it's for God. I'm killing the beast for the God, and I'm doing this for God. I'm what I can say, I'm sacrificing for God, like that. So that's a concept which I get into, so that there's no prick. So
No prick happens.
there's no prick happen. So ultimate aim is happiness. So for that happiness, what I'm doing is I'm bringing God so that I feel happy,
And push everything there.
push everything there, or I bring in atheist kind of thing that it doesn't matter, I need it, or I will bring in karma in such a way that I'm enjoying and suffering because of karma. So I act a victim, basically. So I'm here victimized in karma. In God, I may not be victimized, and God will take care of me. So if you ask me, did you finish yesterday's that slides, and I have not finished, I'll say, yes, Lata, I finished it. And I know I have not finished it. It's pricking, little prick. But and then I'll say I'll cover it up, and then I'm doing for God's sake, right? So it's okay. Or if I go to that extreme, so what? Yeah, I've told lies. So how does it matter? So even if you ask me, Vilas, aren't you lying? And then I say, yeah, I'm lying, but it doesn't matter. So I justify that lie because there's nothing which is happening. So basically, if we become sensitive to the suffering, not the suffering of birth, death, and all that, to the suffering, to the prick what you get in the heart, that is the reason we have to follow the Buddha. Otherwise, there is no better reason. So if I am believing in some rituals, even as a Buddhist, you will not have any prick in the heart, because Buddha is going to take care of you anyway. So I'm doing for Buddha's sake. I'm not doing for my sake anyway. So I'm just handing it over as though, take it. You do whatever you want. You are my father. You are my this one. I'm your servant. I'm here to serve you. So I surrender to you. It's all you who is telling me in my mind to do this and to do that. So it's up to you. So I can still become a theist by this reason. And my thing it would be that I am doing all of this for your sake, or for Buddha, so nothing to do with me. So he talks about Akiryavada, which is a very nice thing, that there is nothing that needs to be done. It happens.
Happens, exactly.
It happens. So then it happens, so then why you should do something? So no karma, nothing, it just happens. So just enjoy the way the life gives you, and there's no commitment. You don't have to commit to anything. In fact, most of us are like that. What we call as opportunist is Akiryavada only. You just look at what better opportunity lies there. So you latch on to that, start sucking, and once you finish sucking, throw it out. So if you go around and talk to people, you'll find more than 90% of that, even if they say, I believe in God. Because it's pure opportunistic way of saying. Okay, then the second one he talks about is Kiryavada. This is not there anywhere, meaning this is Buddha's answer to Akiryavada.
First reason is prick.
First reason, prick only. Prick and prick only.
Second is.
So to stop the prick, do this.
Okay. Second is.
Kiryavada, do it. Okay, so there's a sutta where Buddha is put on a test and said that, just like, there's a Hindi thing called Aapki Adalat. Have you heard about that? There's a TV show by Rajat Sharma. So he brings in people and he will question them and say that there's a blame on you that you do this. There's a blame on you that you do this. There's a blame on you to do this. So here, it's all about blaming Buddha. So Siha, who is a general in one of the army who follows the Jains, okay, and he comes and talks to Buddha saying that I've heard people talking about you in this way. Rather than fuming that or accepting or rejecting it, I thought that it is better I come and ask you, what is your opinion on this? Because that's what people say, you are like this. So these are 8 blames what people have given about you. So what do you have to say? And he says, you are a Kiryavada. And Buddha says, yes, you have heard it right, I'm an Akiryavada. That means I teach people about not to do. That means there is nothing to be done, it just happens. So then what happens and what you should not do? I tell them, don't do immoral things. So then they stop doing immoral things. So then they start doing moral things. So that is Kiryavada. So then they come to ethics. So the one thing which I don't teach, but I recommend people is ethics. And Buddha is accused of teaching ethical. And Buddha says, I don't teach ethics. Sorry. If you're coming to me for ethics, that's not what I teach. But I highly recommend you to be ethical because that is good for you. It will keep you happiness as a starting point of happiness. That if you are ethical, your heart will not burn. Then the next one, annihilation. Now this was doing. So this, what we spoke about, not doing in doing. That is, even in Bhagavad Gita you have that. So not doing in doing. You do, but there's no non-doing it. So that will take you to theist argument, God. Then there is Uchedavada, which is annihilation, which is other side of the spectrum. Here Buddha says that I teach Uchedavada, which is annihilation. So Ajita Kesa Kambali's philosophy is Uchedavada, means annihilation, or Charvaka system. So he says that what is the Ucheda I do? I cut off Raga, Dvesha, Moha. These are 3 things which I cut off. So, and hence you can blame me as a Uchedavada. Okay. So then the next one is Jagucha, which means disgust. There's only one person who does disgust, and that is Jain Mahavira. He gets disgusted by the body, gets disgusted by everything around. And he says that unless you feel the sense of disgust, there is no respite from karma. So let's say wearing a cloth, you are closing up the disgust. Actually, your body looks so disgusting, but then you have to cover it. You look at animals, they show that you can see that it is disgusting. So your body is also same as them. So it is disgusting. It oozes out everything everywhere. So you should be ashamed of having such a body. So why don't you give up? And Buddha says, that's not the disgust what I talk. I'm disgusted of how can I do immoral deeds? Why again and again I want to create suffering for myself? Okay, so I don't go with what Mahavira says. I go with what should be done. That is, I should be ashamed not of this body. I should be ashamed of doing immoral deeds. Because of that, I got this body. If I was not immoral, I wouldn't have been born as a human in the first place. So, why I should torture my own body and then suffer along with that? So, this is what he talks about. Then the next one is Venaika. It's a very nice word. Only Buddha is called Venaika because he has cut off all defilements. So Venaiko means one who can identify, sort out and remove. Here you require God. So the last jump is this one. You have done everything. So just like gold and ornament, you have thrown out the ornament, but you have held on to the gold. As long as gold is there, ornament can be made. As long as clay is there, pot can be made. As long as rope is there, it can be mistaken for a snake. But how about dropping the rope? How about dropping the clay? You don't know. You have to ask God. As here is the answer to that you have to how to drop that last step. She cuts off the defilements. Then the next one is tapas. So Jain again is highest of the tapasvi. Nobody can do much better than him. So in the Buddha Dhamma, he says that burning of defilement is what I teach. That will help in the Venaika. Okay, so Jain believes that you have to do tapas. So you should eat less, you should not wear clothes, you should not take bath, you should not do many things.
The suffering.
Yeah, you should give. So there are three danda. One is a body which is called as kaya danda, then vachi danda, mano danda. So then there's an argument between Upali and another and Buddha. Upali says, Upali is a Jain person. So he says that I believe in the Niganta's way of doing it is that Kaya Danda, if I were to do it, it helps me in getting rid of karma. Which is what maximum people do is Kaya Danda. If you really seen, all of us in some way or the other, we trouble the body. In some way or the other, either I will say I'll sleep down on the floor, or I will do like this, I will stay hungry, I will do this, all physical. There's nothing which you will say is non-physical. So most of us, in the name of the Buddha, we are followers of Jain. Whichever religion we belong, that doesn't matter. But we follow that in tooth and nail because it can be seen. So if somebody is sitting for 10 hours, let's say, as an example.
Punishment to body.
Punishment to body. So now you push, your leg is aching, push it. Try. And then you do 2 hours, then you feel strained. Now push it 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, like that. And then you feel happy. I accomplished it. So then two things happens. I get strengthened. That means you want to let go of I, whereas I get strengthened. Two, you feel happy that you are able to bend the body the way you want it. So that is Kaya Danda. So you torture the body. So let's say I get into an argument that I need to eat once a day. If I'm not hungry, it's fine. But I'm hungry, terribly hungry, to an almost like exhaustion or fainting, and I feel that I shouldn't be eating. That's what it is about Kaya Danda. So Buddha asked, for you to not eat, where did it first appear? In the mind or in the Kaya? And he says, in the mind. Hey, come on, don't change your tune. You first said Kaya is the strongest one, but now you're going back and saying it appeared in the mind. So be careful of what you say. Then he says, no, if I observe, I decided not to eat. Which is happening where? In the mind. So my dear friend, why don't you cleanse the mind than torturing the body?
What do you follow?
Yeah, body has got nothing to do with what you say or what you don't say. So the tapas is about burning the defilements in the mind rather than burning the defilements in the body. So what the Jains do is they'll pull the hairs. It's a very painful process, but they do it, and they pull it from every part of the body. The more it pains, the better it is. Anyway, so that's the thing of Mahavira. So the question asked is that, do you also do tapas? They say, you only blame Jains, but you also do tapas. He says, yes, I do tapas of killing the defilements. That's what I do. I don't do the Kaya Danda. Then next one is apagabbo, means not making the rebirth in the womb possible. That is anagami stage. So I hear that you're doing it. And Buddha says, yes, I'm doing it. Apagabba. Only one person does it, that is Ajita Kesa Kambali, because he's an atheist. He doesn't believe rebirth anyway. So all other people believe in rebirth, but Buddha doesn't believe in rebirth. Meaning he cuts rebirth. It doesn't mean that he doesn't believe in rebirth, it's cutting the rebirth. There's process to cut the rebirth. So he says, I teach cutting of rebirth. And asasako, meaning freedom or peace as a friend. This is what he does. He says, what you're blaming me as asasako is correct. That means I give supreme refuge. So these are the 8 things which I do and nobody else will do. And hence you can follow me. So if somebody were to explain why do you follow Buddha teaching, it's better to say for these reasons. And nobody can beat it. Because you can feel the prick in your heart when you do something mistake.
Yes.
So you are unhappy.
And not only the mistake, it's also if somebody says something that impacts you.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's the same
Anger. See, anything.
It's the same prick.
Same prick, yes. The same prick in the same place.
Yes. And then it gets stored. And then it can come up again.
That's exactly what is happening. That is the meaning of dukkha. So it's not about what dukkha we are facing or not facing in life.
It is not outside. It is
Inside. So you are. The happiness is when you understand, or I understand, that this prick is the one I need to remove. And that's it. So then I'm always happy. And there ends the journey into the womb. Only in the womb entry I have this pricking feeling, because I see somebody getting it and I'm not getting it, something happening and not happening to me. And then either I have to believe in God, or to believe in karma, or I have to believe here. It just happens by random. But when I really see the way I see it, it doesn't matter what is happening outside. I'm more interested in the prick to be taken than anything else.
Can be avoided.
How the prick can be avoided. So
That's all it is.
that's all what it is. It doesn't matter whether you buy non-veg or you don't buy non-veg.
Exactly. should not be there.
The prick shouldn't be there. As long as you know you're feeding the animal,
Yeah, that's what he needs.
that's what he needs. So you're just doing it.
Actually, I have it.
So like that. So, but for other things, when it is personal, you'll have the prick. Even in that, even in the non-veg. If it is personal, you'll have the prick. When you see that animal dying in front of you, little bit prick will be there, looking at that poor guy breathing his last, then but then you feel, it's okay. It's an animal. So if you stop at that prick, you're done.
That's all it matters. This is the conclusion I came to. That's why I keep watching my heart.
Mind.
always.
Yes, that's all. So where is the mind? It's in the heart. And where do you get it? In the heart.
In the heart.
That's all. So if you watch the heart, done. Then you will not do anything. Because by nature, every being is looking for happiness. That means no prick. So we are done. Yes, guys, I'm also done. None of you are on video, so I don't know whether you are living or you are dead or what happened.
Namo Buddhaya, sir.
Namo Buddhaya ji, Mangala ji, kaho. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. A lot of things I learned. And talking of morality, it's a very conditioned word, I feel, being a woman and dealing with women, there is a lot of, leverage which I think morality should have. I've seen women who have been pushed into prostitution because they have mouths to feed their children, they need food for the child when there is no maid around, and so I wanted to bring this, and like the answer you have very nicely said that the prick, it was a very good discourse that as long as the prick is not there, and there is a lot of forgiveness from God also. So I wanted to point this out that we should not be very rigid about morality. I think it's very conditional, and the conscience is what is very important. The prick is very important. I'm very grateful to you that you brought this out. Second, I feel that we should not be judges of somebody else's morality. We should look within. Because God has many ways of, God forgives. That is what Christianity says. I don't know whether I should bring that in here, but he is full of forgiveness. So when we look at somebody else and we say that that person is doing something wrong and yet he is happy, I feel that, to a certain extent, God is forgiving him, and his ghada has not been filled up. So I think there is a variation, and ultimately the real thing that you talked about in these 8 things, that boils down to these 8 things. And thanks, sir, for discussing that thing.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback, Mangala. Yes, sir, you wanted to leave.
Yeah, I have to go in 1 minute, and I guess
Yes.
I would just want to say one thing. Maybe so Bobby is right in the sense that if someone comes and say I don't feel the prick, and that's someone you cannot help.
No. He's beyond repair. You have to throw the product. If you try your stunt in correcting it, you will go mad. All right. Good day and good
I
evening.
think some people will say I'm not feeling the prick, but you're pricking me, so you're the problem. So get out. So.
Yeah, I can always pass that, saying that God is pricking me, this person is pricking me, and something like that. That's fine. That's Uchedavada. annihilationist way. Okay, same here. All right. Good day.